time. And welcome to our show, Crooked Doctors. Today is Friday, November 9th, 2012, and we're going to have our co-hosts call in today because of the problems with transportation due to, obviously, the hurricane and the nor'easter. So while we wait for them to try to get through, I'm not sure what the power situation is, but we'll wait for them to try to get through. In the meantime, Pauline Roman is a tenant that we're trying to help out in New Jersey, and she was asked a question. She went to court today. We're not sure what happened. We're waiting for her to call in and let us know. But she was asked a question, why didn't you pay for the pipe to get fixed? And the reason she didn't do that, and if she's not available today because she's stuck in court or she's stuck with the transportation problems out in Jersey, the reason why she didn't pay to get the pipe fixed was because they haven't been paying rent since September of last year, and since, I believe, November of this year, November, December of, 2011, so January 2012, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, they've been depositing their rent with the court, so they're required to pay their rent with the court. And the judge in landlord-tenant court is supposed to make sure that these repairs are taken care of. So what they're expected to do is deposit their rent and then go into their savings and pay for the repairs. So how can they take it off their rent? And you got to understand, Pauline is the mother of 2 small children, and they're doing the best they can. She's supposed to be working right now. She's not supposed to be, they're not supposed to be taking money out of their savings to pay their rent and then pay for the landlord's repairs. Now, while we wait for our friends out in New Jersey to give us a call, I wanted to share some really good news, or some better news. So let me go right here to our website. We'll do that in a second. Okay. I got a phone call from Patricia Waiters, and as soon as I can get her on my show, I'm going to show you Patricia Waiters. I'm going to change the camera view so we can look at my friend Patricia Waiters. This is, if you go to my Crooked Doctors channel, which I'll do in a minute, this is Patricia Waiters with President Obama while he was still Senator Obama, and she was working for Miss Flood. Miss Flood, unfortunately, has passed away, but she's an elected official in Jersey, and this is Patricia Waiters right here, and she wanted everybody to know, and I'm very proud of her. She called me. This is Patricia Waiters right here with the cap, and of course everybody knows our president. She ran for an elected office in Hoboken, and as you know, Hoboken is underwater now. They're flooded. And so her campaign, well, she's been fighting crime and corruption in Hudson County for several years now. And, you know, we're working together. We put a group. We went down to Trenton. We talked to Mr. Christie. Yes, I have film of us talking to Mr. Christie, and I will be presenting that next week. But not only has she been fighting crime and corruption, but she runs for any elected office that she possibly can because she wants to keep fighting the good fight. And with no money, no campaign, a hurricane against her. Oh, hopefully this is Bill. Hello.
Hello, darling. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thanks for calling in.
You know, about that Pauline Roman thing.
Yes.
You know, you just said she has 2 small children and this and that. What's more important than plugging up that damn hole? I mean, you're escrowing the rent, you're making things in court. That's all well and good. But every day your family is breathing in that stuff.
Yeah, and all it is, it's an explanation, but it's no excuse. I mean, I would go get a bucket of cement and just pour it in that damn hole and say, okay, fine. Whatever happens, happens, but I'm not going to breathe this stuff anymore. I agree with you, but the problem is the landlord put a lock on the basement door, and we were just fortunate because every once in a while he has to unlock the basement door to let the electrical company come in and read the meters. So we were fortunate. One time he accidentally left the door unlocked, and that's how I got in with my camera. Pauline had called me and said, come in, you've got to take a photograph of this, because up until this point, she was a crazy lady and nobody believed her. And she's been on the merry-go-round of the same corrupt officials that I've been dealing with.
Yeah, but you're living with that unhealthy smell and
it's
mold
more
all
than
the time. There's no excuse why that thing isn't abated right now.
Thank you.
I mean, I don't understand. I mean, I don't know why there's so many enough departments. I mean, doesn't Jersey have any kind of Department of Health or Human Services there?
Thank you. And we've done the round robin. Let me tell you who. This is how corrupt Hudson County is. That's why we got in our car and we went down to see Governor Christie. By the way, I got a phone call from the State Attorney General's office, and as soon as the
indicting you.
Yes, I'm going to go down and we're going to follow up with my complaint. And you know what? I'm going to change the camera view for a minute.
Oh yeah, fix the brightness. You wait till you're washed out.
I'm a little bright.
You look like radioactive.
I want to change the camera view for a minute because what I want to show you is, okay, this is Bill right now. William Doherty hopefully is viewing us on the Manhattan Neighborhood Network website. And if you're not in New York, you can always catch us on Community Channel 1. We stream live on the internet. And Gay USA just finished, and now we're Crooked Doctors. So you can always click on us right here to watch us live streaming on the internet. On YouTube, if you type in, and I'm showing you this for a reason, if you type in the YouTube search bar, Crooked Doctors, what you will come to is the YouTube videos from this show, but even more than that, right here, Crooked Doctors.
You have all this even from the beginning when you were just
Yes,
by yourself.
I do.
Remember, all you would talk about was the yeshiva.
Well, let me tell you something. It's gotten a whole lot worse.
I know, it's exploded into a whole world of legal anxieties here.
Well, no, it's actually we're.
But you do have those old first shows when you're there by yourself.
Yeah, when I was scared to death, and I still am scared to death. But right here is my. You're gonna love this. This is
You got the Grassley tape up there too?
No, this is the U.S. Marshals. I have 37 minutes. This is the first 10 minutes.
Oh, is this what they were looking to indict you for?
No, they can't now. In April of 2012, I reviewed the essential. I filed against. Boy, are they going to be mad. I filed a defamation suit against the Crooked Doctors at Rikers Island and at Elmhurst Hospital for defaming me. And I have a nice little, and so what I did was I went down and I explained, these are the numbers of exhibits that I filed. So I went down to the U.S. Marshals and I explained, I went through every single exhibit here and showed how these doctors had been lying and how the judges lied. And this is if you go to Crooked Doctors on my YouTube, a federal judge has this evidence, and I explained it to the U.S. Marshals, a law enforcement agency.
You explained that whole sheaf of papers?
It was very simple, and you got the first 10 minutes right here on my YouTube channel. This is my Crooked Doctors channel on YouTube, right here. And I also put in subtitles so you could follow along. But the bottom line is, because I did this, I forced a city attorney to talk to me. And she said she doesn't know what the Crooked Doctors told her, that they didn't know what they did wrong. Thank you, because they just admitted to violating the laws that define professional misconduct by doctors. And that would be McKinney's, that's the publisher. Education law, this is section 6530.
Yeah, but were you allowed to take that video that you were showing up there?
I can say and do anything I have to say and do to make sure that I'm not murdered. That's what I can do. And so the bottom line is the city attorney said, oh, you know, we're not, you have to have a law enforcement agency involved. I do have a law enforcement agency involved. And what Rikers Island did is they scammed the U.S. Marshals. As I was leaving Rikers Island, they tried to force contact with a so-called mental health professional, and this was Dr. Tongue, because they were trying to find, they were twisting in the wind, and
that's a new name I haven't heard yet.
Dr. Tongue?
Yeah,
he claimed as I was leaving Rikers Island, he claimed they forced contact, claiming I needed discharge services. I didn't need discharge services. The purpose of discharge services was to obtain Social Security insurance. I don't need Social Security insurance. I have Social Security disability based on my spinal injuries. And what I'm putting—
you can't double dip on the Social Security?
No, you can't. You get one or the other.
Oh, okay.
And this is not an entitlement program. This is not a welfare program, because I paid in, when I was working, I paid into the disability program. So if I became disabled, you know, there would be some resources there to take care of me.
So are you saying that Yeshiva University forced you to become one part of that 47%?
Yes, they did. And what I have now is just this past week I talked to Mark Diefendorf, who's the regional director at the Social Security Administration, and I have 17 minutes of an audio tape wherein he confirms that the Social Security Administration has been committing fraud against me for the last 3 years. And you will hear on this audio tape.
He admitted that?
He admitted it, and I'm providing this audio tape to a federal judge and posting it on YouTube.
He actually used the word fraud in whatever he admitted?
Hold on for just 1 second. Just 1 second. Hello?
Okay, go take your calls.
Bill. Bill's going to call in because he's got something really important to tell us.
I just want to get my mind off about why they didn't plug up that damn pipe.
Hold on for a second, Bill. Hold on. No, don't hold up. I've got 2 phone lines going. Bill, don't hang up yet, okay? Don't hang up yet. The reason why Pauline Robin didn't plug up that hole is, 1, the landlord is not giving her access to the basement, and he put a special lock in so we can't go back in and take more videotape of even more violations. They've been depositing their money with the court, and the court is supposed to make sure that these problems are taken care of.
Yeah, but if, let's say somebody, all right, you had all your papers filed and everything. Let's say there was somebody on top of you living on the next floor on top of you, and they were using a jackhammer 24 hours a day. You said, well, I'm going to take this guy to court, or you're going to go upstairs and put a stop to it somehow.
Yeah, and this is the hell that they put you through. And Pauline Roman's attorney is a municipal court judge named Frank Babcock. Now, I told Frank Babcock about the crimes in my case, and instead of providing some relief, he cooperated with Judge Morena, with Judge Ray Velasquez, and with Judge Rodriguez to continue to hurt me. You got to know the crime and corruption that you're dealing with. So that's an excellent question. Most people would just say, I'm not paying the rent, I'm paying for the repairs, and I'm deducting it from the rent. But Pauline and her husband can't do that for these reasons.
Yeah, well, I would somehow go to the court
and
say, look, instead of putting that money in escrow, I'm using it to fix this thing. Because
and then the court will come after her. You know, I spoke up in court, and then the judge was going to come after me. But Pauline's been threatened by her attorney, Frank
Child Protective Services. I know they got that in Jersey. These kids are in danger from the fumes, from the stuff and the mold.
You would think. You would think.
I mean, she could make it to the bank to put the rent in escrow, but she can't make it down to Child Protective Services.
You would, and then
you'd have people there in a minute if you went down.
Let me tell you something. And then they come after her for being a bad mother. She didn't do anything wrong. It's her landlord that should be fixing this. I mean, I was shocked when we were in court, and her attorney, Frank Babcock, had seen the hole in her bathroom ceiling, the 4-foot by 3-foot hole, and you can look up and see the tub, and you're wondering when your neighbor's tub is going to fall on your head.
Oh, I know that. When I was a kid, my Uncle Frank was sitting in his bathtub, and the roof cracked, the ceiling cracked, and a rat trap dropped in his lap. And he was taking a bath. So you could imagine how fast this guy moved out of that tub. So, I mean, I can't imagine this stuff still goes on today. I mean, even 40 years later, you know, I mean...
Horrible. So, you know, this has been going on September, October, November. I'm like, you know something, Pauline? If this was Frank's apartment, he would have it fixed in a heartbeat. But, you know, Pauline has been put through the same mill that all of us are put through in Hudson County when we push back against the corrupt system. You know, they tried to defame Pauline as crazy. They wouldn't take her seriously. Nobody would believe her until I went down there and took photographs and then started putting it up on the internet. Now everybody believes her and they all want her to shut up. And we're not certain what happened in court today. She was supposed to go to court today. They're supposed to send an inspector, and her complaints to me all week are, you know, you're sending the same inspector, Mr. Gross, who has already been down to the basement in April with Pauline's husband.
I mean, every time I think of that video she shot down there, I feel a little vomit coming up in the back of my throat thinking about what's going on.
Thank you. That's the purpose of that. Thank you. And I've got 12 minutes of this. I ran this class, my program director, she was like, show about a minute or two. But it's horrible.
I can't imagine you can't get any action on that. I can't imagine that. I just can't imagine.
And
so many offices and departments you could go to over there.
Yeah, that's why when we go to the State Attorney General, where we're going to bring Pauline Roman with us and say, you know, who is this inspector, Mr. Gross? He's been down there in
Gross,
April.
a good name, too.
He was down there in April. Her husband was down there. He pointed out what was going on, the broken pipe with spewing raw human sewage into the basement. He did nothing. This is April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. It's ridiculous. This is what you're put through in Hudson County.
I don't understand why the landlord, if everybody's holding up their rent, why he's not doing something to get that rent. I mean, he can't be losing. You know what he did? Oh,
you wouldn't believe this. We go into court, and it's Pauline Roman and her attorney, Frank Babcock, who's suppressing evidence, suppressing witnesses, telling her to shut up, threatening her that he's going to walk off her case, having her live in fear. If you try to speak up, I'm the only one who spoke up in court, and then the judge almost put me out of the courtroom for speaking up. I'm the one who said, we've got the DVDs, we've got the evidence, let's present it. Instead, they released $2,000 of the Roman family's money for what? Why is that $2,000 being put towards fixing this pipe? And so this is what happens in Hudson County.
Went to the landlord?
Yeah, she's been paying.
Right, I know. Why did they release it to him?
He went to court and said everything's fine. We're like, everything's not fine. You know, what planet are you living on?
But you have to have proof. You just can't walk in. I mean, this is
exactly, and we had
United States of America.
Exactly.
God damn it.
Thank you. And we had proof. In fact, I got Bill on my cell phone here. Hold on, Bill. You didn't hang up yet, did you, Bill?
Go ahead, dude. If you want,
no, just wait. Just wait.
I'm just sorry.
We had Bill there with his computer. I had the DVD on the computer. Frank Babcock is walking into court, and I'm like, look, you got to look at this. And he's like, no, the judge is coming in. I'm like, you can spend a minute looking at this. I mean, we had to insist. I've got Bill Doherty here with getting backup from one of the biggest tenant associations in Jersey. And Bill's like, you have to put Lydia Radin on the witness stand so that she can testify to this, so she can testify to making this video, so that she can say what she saw and heard. And Frank Babcock is doing everything he possibly can to suppress evidence. Frank Babcock is a municipal court judge in Jersey City. He did the same thing to me when I went to him with the crimes in my case.
But why?
Why? Because
would he just pick you to do this against?
No, that's what we're trying to tell you. It's the same corrupt officials that are victimizing me, that are victimizing the Pauline Roman and her family, that tried to victimize Bill. I mean, they set Bill up. If we weren't in the courtroom, that police detective would have lied, and Bill would have been out in the street right now. That's what we're dealing with. This is the same corrupt officials that are victimizing Patricia Waiters. That's why Patricia Waiters and I got in her car, drove down and asked Governor Christie personally for help. And I have video, which I'll be playing. And that's one of the reasons why I put up this, if you go to my YouTube website, you know, when they're putting out disinformation and lying, the city of New York claimed, I think I lost Bill. Hello?
Yeah, well, I just wanted to say that I got to congratulate you.
Okay. Wait. Bill's still here.
Good.
That's why Patricia Waiters and I, you know, got in our car when we drove out. We talked to Governor Christie personally, and we didn't ask for help. We begged for help, and that's why we're going to the State Attorney General and saying these are the corrupt elected officials in Hudson County. Hudson County is notorious for crime and corruption. The last time the FBI did a sweep through Hudson County, they indicted 44 elected officials. the newspapers claimed it was stunning, even for Hudson County. This is the crime and corruption.
I know, the economy's so bad that the mafia had to lay off 5 judges. You know that?
Let me tell you something. I'm a witness for the mafia. The federal government is coming after me now. I have audio tapes of a collection agency.
Now you got mobsters after you?
Oh, no. The federal government's coming after me to take money for classes I never took.
Oh, boy.
Hello?
You know, I got to say, though, no one else but you.
Stay on. No, what I'm trying to tell you is I'm going to change the camera view, and if you go to...
turn the brightness down. It's just I don't know what's going on there with your lighting.
Okay, we'll turn it down a little bit. But right here on YouTube, this right here, the U.S. Marshals and Federal Judge Gleason have this. I went through the evidence with them, and I explained this is fraud at Rikers Island. This is how they forced contact with me. I went through all the exhibits. I talked them through it.
Is that the video you're not supposed to have, that you're not supposed to shoot?
Hey, you know, they tried to intimidate me.
Is this the footage here that they say you can't bring a camera into the courtroom?
Well, they claimed that I couldn't bring a camera into the federal courts, but, you know, the bottom line is when you physically assault me and almost murder me, and I'm walking around with 5 herniated discs and a pinched nerve,
right.
And not only that, but I have, this past week, I talked to the Social Security Administration, and I got the regional director for the Social Security Administration on the phone, and for 17 minutes, and this is going up on my YouTube site, and it's going to a federal judge, he admitted that the Social Security Administration has been lying about me for 3 years, and you can listen to this for yourself. There's ample evidence
Did he say why?
Yeah, because the decision maker in charge based her determination on Jersey City medical records, which were falsified. And I talked to Ms. Kinney and her supervisors. I have faxes, and you'll hear me on this audio tape. I informed these individuals, those medical records at Jersey City Medical Center are not medical records. They're wholesale fraud. These are the ways I can show you that the doctors at Jersey City Medical Center lied. And you can hear the regional director at the Social Security
Administration. Are you going to do something, though? Now that
I'm going down to Social Security Administration. I'm going to identify the as yet unnamed doctor who sought to stigmatize me, and those defaming records will be deleted from my records at the Social Security Administration. So I'm like, do you mean to tell me that I've been walking around for 3 years, and behind my back these people have been lying, trying to stigmatize me as mentally ill when I'm not, when in fact I have ample evidence to show that I'm suffering from spinal injuries? And the regional director, Mr. Mark Diefendorf, was forced to admit that that was true. And I talked through some of the stuff with him, and you will hear on the 17-minute audio tape where he says that he's looking at, before I could get disability for my neck and spine injury and for my pinched nerve, I had to apply for welfare, and I had to go to a New York State doctor who was doing everything she possibly could to downplay my symptoms, because they did not want to give me welfare, they did not want to give me food stamps, they did not want to give me disability.
Why?
Because they always discourage people. That's part of the system. They always deny you. They want to get rid of.
I don't get it. I find you pretty likable. I don't understand why everybody in the world doesn't.
No, this is part of the disability system where they will deny you, 1, 2, 3 times and have you appeal because they're trying to discourage welfare cheats. But
well, they should know you better than that. You'll never get discouraged.
And I'm not a cheat. What Mr. Diefendorf is saying, and I played this today for one of the producers here in MNN, what he's saying is, yes, I see a mental status exam that was done by this doctor, and she's saying in her mental status exam, your cognition is good, you're not mentally ill, your short-term and long-term memory are good. And what she's doing is, this is 2 months after the attack in Jersey City. I was physically assaulted in Jersey City.
So was your mother's boyfriend at the same time?
Yeah, that's why we're putting this information up on the internet.
And they were basing the Social Security thing on that fraudulent paper from from what? What was that?
These were doctors at Jersey City Medical Center that lied, that falsified medical records.
What contact did you have with them that they were able to write?
I'm not their patient. They falsified records. Judge Rodriguez, when I was going through a landlord-tenant court, and a lot of the information from my medical school was being driven out into the floor, and we discovered that my landlords had done a few things they shouldn't have done. And as a retaliatory gesture, my landlady went down to municipal court in Jersey City, and this is the same thing that Pauline Roman was put through.
Harriet?
No, this is
right.
in Jersey City.
Right.
They filed false criminal charges. We went into court in July of 2008, and I asked Judge Rodriguez, this is Nestle A. Rodriguez, for a no-contact order. And she refused to give me a written no-contact order. When my landlords violated her no-contact order in early August of 2008, she refused to enforce it. Had she enforced her verbal no-contact order when I went down, and you heard my mother was also calling into the show that said, yeah, we went down to the municipal court. We tried to make complaints. Judge Rodriguez had told us, when your landlord violates this no-contact order, you come down to this court and tell us, and I'll enforce it. We did. They refused.
Oh.
So in September, when I asked Judge Rodriguez to recuse herself from my case, she was acting to protect herself, because if she had enforced that verbal no-contact order, I never would have been physically assaulted and almost murdered at Jersey City Medical Center. So Judge Rodriguez didn't want anybody to know that she enforces the law for the landlord and not for the tenant.
Now you said they recorded phone calls from Rikers Island?
All my phone calls from Rikers.
Now,
yeah.
When you make a phone call there, do you have to use quarters, or do you have to? I mean,
no, what happens is
how do you pay for that?
What happens is, Bill, are you still with me?
You want
okay, don't worry. No, wait. I want to answer this question. What happens is you have money deposited in your commissary account,
right?
And then money is taken from the charge to your commissary account so you can pay for your phone calls. And usually once a week you can go down there and get a list of all the phone calls that you paid for, which I did. And some of those phone calls that I made were to Debbie Simon at the Hudson County Prosecutor's Office, and she freaked out. And to Ben Lawsky at the governor's office, because Ben Lawsky knew me when I called him when he was at Andrew Cuomo's state attorney general's office, and I was complaining about the civil rights violations at
yeah, but when the phone rang in his office, it would say Rikers Island on the ID.
I don't know what it said, but it was like, Mr. Lawsky, yes, this is Lydia Radin, and then he and then he hung up on me. You know, but and I got other people on the phone. For example, you know, I got a security liaison officer on the phone from Washington, and he's like, there were no terroristic threats, Lydia. When you came to Washington, you never made terroristic threats. And Jersey City Medical Center had lied and tried to label me as a terrorist because, and this was a retaliatory gesture, one of the students in my yeshiva victims group, as you know, plagiarized from me, ruined her case, made false criminal charges to Detective Lee at Forest Hills in Queens. Detective Lee put me through an investigation in 2006 to 2007, which ultimately cleared me. And she was so angry and frustrated that she continued to defame me as a terrorist when I wasn't. And what's coming out in Jersey City now is that the municipal prosecutor had all this information, and the scam that they ran on me in Manhattan, they tried to run on me in Jersey City. And now everybody's afraid that the truth is coming out.
Is that Bockstein and Jimmy David?
Yeah, but the bottom line is, and I'm going to change the camera view, if you go to my Crooked Doctors website, you're going to come to the U.S. Mart right here. This is the first 10 minutes of all the exhibits that I filed in federal court that show how I was defamed, how Rikers Island committed fraud, how your tax dollars are being wasted, how Michelle S. Canale at Elmhurst Hospital in Queens falsified medical records, how she lied, I am not their patient, and how these doctors engaged in professional misconduct. These are the definitions these are the definitions of professional misconduct as they apply to physicians. This is McKinney's Education Law, Section 6530. They know what they did was wrong, and I have audio tape conversations between me and a city attorney, Miss Crook, where they know exactly what they did was wrong. Miss Crook. Yeah, Miss Crook.
Mr. Gross.
Yeah, it's
and
quite.
Babcock. Remember, never hire an attorney with the word cock in his name.
And one of the reasons we got results, so we're starting to get some help, is because we went to Mr. Christie and we asked for help, and he's.
I'm not going to get in any trouble by looking at this illicit marshal office.
No. They tried any way they could, but the bottom line is they physically assaulted me. They left me with serious bodily injury. I'm being terrorized. When you physically assault somebody and leave them with serious bodily injury, that meets the definition for terrorism. I'm the one who's being terrorized. I'm the one who's scared. I'm the one who's doing this to protect my life. And this week, I got the Social Security Administration to admit that they've been lying about me for years. They had ample, and I'm going to put this 17-minute audio tape, and they're going to be, they told me that I will be going down to the Social Security Administration in Brooklyn and that they will delete these defaming statements and these defaming...
Is that what he said?
Exactly. And you
said that?
Yes, I confirmed that with him.
You got the tape. Just bring it down there.
Well, no, I got the tape. I'm putting it up on YouTube so everybody can hear it.
Bring it down here when you go there to get the thing expunged.
Oh, yeah. And I also said to him, who's the... so how did this happen? He's like, well, our analyst, this Ms. Kinney, made the determination. I'm like, but Miss Kinney knew. I explained to her in depth and detail how Jersey City Medical Center had falsified the records that she's now using, and I gave her contact information so that she could confirm with witnesses, and lots of information so that she would know common sense stuff that you'll hear on the audio tape, so she would know that Jersey City Medical Center had lied. And they had an in-house doctor. I wanted the name of that in-house doctor because I'm going to hold his feet to the fire. Before you run around to my face, I'm being told that I'm getting Social Security disability for the back injury and for the pinched nerve and for the physical assault at Jersey City Medical Center, which was so violent that 2 months later, I got a New York doctor who's doing everything she possibly can to downplay my symptoms, and she's saying I still see tenderness, swelling, and redness. This is 2 months after the assault.
With the back, they can't prove anything anyway. As long as you got pain,
no.
All the x-rays in the world can't tell you.
These are not x-rays. These are MRIs, and the MRIs show 5 herniated discs and a pinched nerve. And I also had to go through nerve conduction studies. You cannot fake a nerve conduction study that shows the pinched nerve.
So you were saying they were threatening to cut off your Social Security thing because of this, and this is why you're going down there? Or...
No, I want to go down there because they falsely labeled me as mentally ill.
You're going down there to save your face?
No, I'm going down there to make sure that I'm not defamed as schizophrenic and psychotic when I'm not.
So it's not about money then?
No, it's not about not being physically assaulted.
And I really got to hand it to you. You are a truly unique person, I'll tell you.
Why?
I mean, anybody who would spend all day with Bill taking Mrs. Povinetti down to that office to get her stuff cleared up, I mean,
wait.
Do that? Who would take an 82-year-old woman to spend all day with her?
Wait,
Bill? Trying to straighten out her stuff.
Bill, are you still on? I'm going to play now. Thank you for that segue into Mrs. Povinetti, because apparently Mrs. Povinetti has her own Crooked Doctors. And so what I'm going to do is play, stay with me, a tape from, this is from, oh, you're going to love this.
You had an old tape that you once played early. Maybe,
No. This is an audio tape. It's about a minute and 8 seconds. This is from Mark Rosenbaum, wherein, and then I'm gonna hang up and have Bill confirm this. Bill and I went down with Mrs. Povinetti to Adult Protective Services in Brooklyn. I'm broadcasting in Brooklyn. Brooklyn, you need to know this. On Thursday, October 25th, 2012, me, Mrs. Povinetti, and Bill Doherty went down to Adult Protective Services in Brooklyn. We spoke to a supervisor, Ms. Felder. We asked Ms. Felder, could you please give us the financial statements that show that Ms. Povinetti should not be evicted from her rent-stabilized apartment for non-payment of rent, because Adult Protective Services was supposed to make sure that her landlord was paid on time. And apparently, Ms. Povinetti has her own crooked doctors, because apparently they did a psychiatric evaluation on Ms. Povinetti, but nobody wants her to see the psychiatric evaluation.
I think your crooked doctors just rubs off on her. That's why she's got crooked
She has the right
now.
to see. She has
Pretty soon Bill's going to have crooked doctors on
He
him.
already has. They tried this nonsense on him, but Bill beat them.
No, Bill's got the crooked lawyers on him now.
No, but Bill beat them because they tried the same armchair Freud stuff on him too. You know, they were defaming him in court with all these psychoanalytical terms that were also not true.
Yeah, well, my point was the fact that you would take your time with all the stuff you got and all the people.
Are you kidding? They're threatening us with eviction.
Go there and spend a day and help this poor woman. You know, and then they say she didn't show up there, right?
Exactly. So Bill and I go down there, and this is what's important. If you're in Brooklyn right now, and this is Adult Protective Services, Ms. Felder is the supervisor. We go down there. It's on Thursday, October 25th, 2012. It's 1:30 in the afternoon. We were there for hours. They lied to poor little Miss Povinetti, and they claimed that she was going to be evicted on Monday, October 29th. They scared the hell out of her. I had to run home and get the papers to show that that wasn't true. And while Mrs. Povinetti's there, this is how, with what contempt they treat us. While Mrs. Povinetti's there, Ms. Felder had her sign and date a document. So, you know, as we're preparing for court and as we're trying to tell the judge, this is Judge Lay, look, we've made good faith efforts to get this information for you. Ms. Povinetti should not be evicted. She, you know, the rent is being paid. Financial management is supposed to make sure that the rent is being paid. What we get from Adult Protective Services is they lied and they claimed that Ms. Povinetti wasn't there. And yeah, you could be laughing about this, but Adult Protective Services in Brooklyn is lying about the very people they're supposed to protect. This is the crime and corruption that we're dealing with.
Yeah, but how could they?
How could they do that? Because they're liars. You know something? Hearing and seeing is believing. So I'm going to change the camera view. Bill, are you still there? Oh, we lost.
Yeah, I want you to know
yeah,
your
Bill's
image is
still
so
here.
bright.
Bill, just hold on for
my screen.
Hold on for a second. I'm going
to. Go right ahead. Take your time.
I'm going to change the camera view, and we're going to listen to. This is going to be. This is Mark Rosenbaum at the Office of Legal Affairs, who left a voicemail message for me claiming that the client, Ms. Povinetti, was never at Adult Protective Services. And I got.
Don't they have a video camera there? A surveillance camera?
We got real live witnesses who are going to come to court with us on the next court day and tell the judge. And if we have to, we'll go to supervising Judge Lansing and his very nice and very helpful court clerk, Michael Chung, who honestly and sincerely tried to help us and did a good job. Otherwise, you know, the reason why I have Ms. Povinetti's permission to use her case as a teaching case, she asked the question, how many little old elderly people were railroaded, bamboozled into nursing homes, into losing their rent-stabilized apartment because there wasn't a Lydia Radin, because there wasn't a Bill Doherty, because there wasn't a Pauline Roman, because there wasn't a Patricia Waiters, because there wasn't a nice caller who would fight back. So let's...
You know, it's just funny that, you know, I mean, you videotape and tape everything, and at one time this could have been useful had you brought a tape of her being down there and saying, look, she was here.
I do have videotape of that too, but you know, first you like to give them enough rope to hang themselves. So let's just listen to Mark Rosenbaum, who now is such a gutless wonder he refuses to return my calls, and so does Miss Felder.
Like Steve Phillips, he's still hiding.
Okay, well let's listen to this really quick. Here we go. Wait a second. You know what? I'm going to start this again. Hold it. Just 1 second. Sorry, guys. All right, here we go.
Replay message. Press 4.
Hi, Ms. Radin. It's Mark Rosenbaum, 417 on Friday. I spoke with ATS. They told me that the client was not there with you, that you were there, appeared with a man yesterday, and that the client was not there. In any event, a decision has been reached for them to provide the client with this material. They are going to be leaving it with the client directly, and so that's what's going to be done. They are going to be leaving it with the client today or on Monday. Okay. If you have any questions, give me a call. Thanks.
End of message. Delete. Press 7.
Okay, so that's...
Did they leave it? Well, did she ever get it?
Well, what they want to do is pull a dirty trick, and what they want to do is have a woman named Jasmine Smith come down, dump a bunch of documents on Betty, and then they want to run away. And Betty's not going to put up with that. We already told them if there's going to be an exchange of documents, Betty's going to accept these documents with a whole bunch of witnesses and with videotape rolling, and then we're going to open up the envelope with the documents, and then we're going to go through them page by page, and everybody's going to look at them, because Betty Povanetti is not going to have the dirty lawyer trick that's been played on Lydia Radin. So when I do Freedom of Information Act requests and I get documents from other agencies that my medical school has falsified reports to, and I start publicizing it, the dishonest, crooked lawyer, Dan Rizal of Sive, Paget, and Rizal, runs around behind my back and accuses me of forgery. So we're not gonna have that dirty lawyer trick played on Betty Povanetti. So what's going to happen is she's going to accept these documents from Adult Protective Services in front of plenty of witnesses and videotape, and we're going to go through it because we've pretty much had it. And I'm telling you right now, Betty Povanetti has a right to see that psychiatric report. She has a right to challenge that report. I have the right to see it to the extent that it mentions me, and I have the right to challenge it. I just spent 3 years being defamed by the federal government, by the Social Security Administration, by crooked doctors at Jersey City Medical Center, and the person who made that decision, Miss Kinney, and the as yet unnamed doctor, just 1 second, Bill, hold on, just hang on. For the past 3 years, they've been running around behind my back, and Ms. Kinney at the Social Security Administration had ample information, and you'll hear this because this is going to be put up on YouTube. Had ample information to know that there was an ample amount of evidence to show that I had real physical injuries, and that the so-called psychiatric impairment was based on doctors who lied at Jersey City Medical Center who are paid by my landlord. So, and this has to do with Judge Rodriguez, who illegally refused to enforce her no-contact order and didn't want anybody to know because she's corrupt. And you can be killed at Jersey City. They will murder you at Jersey City. Vladimir Jelnov, Michael Stewart, Dr. Chang, Stacy Dix-Kubiowski. I am not the patient of Stacy Dix-Kubiowski. These people ran around behind my back, falsifying medical records, defaming me, characterizing me as a lunatic terrorist, and I finally get the admission of guilt 3 years later. What this is telling you, ladies and gentlemen, is that an Olympic tape recorder is your best friend. Get one. Get one now.
Is there any update on that story with that gay ex-roommate from Washington Heights?
Yeah, Bill? Oh, let me
go.
Let me have Bill call in because there's something...
Okay, have Bill call in. All I can tell you, I just leave you with one thought, though. Just be suspicious of Senator Grassley asked you to meet him at Elmhurst Hospital.
Senator Grassley, I went... these documents that are submitted in federal court, I discussed 7 of these with investigators at Senator Grassley's office.
Did they ever get you back to you after that visit?
I have to get back to them. I'm the one who's... It was
a long time. Time has passed.
Yeah, I know, but I'm the one who's overwhelmed. So, but there's good news, too. Hello?
Go talk to Bill.
Okay.
Go talk to Bill. I'll talk to...
Because Bill has some good news he wants to share. Okay. Bill, call into the show now, and we'll share your good news. Okay? All right. Bill has some really good news, and it was just announced. So he's really happy about it. Hold on. And let me bring up... Okay, Bill has some really great news. As you know, we've been working on I'm going to change the camera view. We've been working on getting this new law passed in Jersey. And we got Senator Stack to propose this new bill that would allow tenants to recover their attorney's fees when they win against their landlord. And in Trenton, this is the bill that we're getting passed. This is all what we're working really hard with. Senator Brian Stack is proposing this. And this is going to come out, there's going to be an open public hearing about this bill in Trenton next week. So this is what we asked for. Remember, Bill and I were winning. By the way, this phone number right here, 201-376-1942, that's Senator Stack's aide's cell phone number. And this is the law that we're getting passed in Jersey. And this new law would allow tenants to recover attorney's fees. Now in New York, we have this law. It's Real Property Law, Section 234, I believe. So that if you're a tenant and you win against your landlord, you can ask to recover your attorney's fees. Now remember, in Jersey, I won against my landlord 1, 2, 3, 4 times. We're probably having trouble in Jersey because the hello? Oh yeah, people are calling in, so the show has a bill. I'm on the phone now, and I would like you to confirm, and you're gonna come to court and fill out an affidavit and confirm this. When on Thursday, October 25th, 2012, when Ms. Povanetti and I went down to Adult Protective Services, did you come with us? There you go. You know, I need to get you on cell phones. I mean, I need to get you on the phone so that you can confirm this. Bill came down with us. He's our witness. He's going to come to court with us and let Judge Lay know about this. Can I get an affidavit from you, Bill?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so Bill's I'm going to drop an affidavit and Bill's going to sign it. And right now, Bill, he wanted everybody to know that, talk me through the email that you got about Senator Stack's bill.
From Matt Bureau that on the 15th, it'll be going to the State House in Trenton. And we're going there, right? You said that we're going to...
Yes. Yes, we're going to be going to Trenton, and this is an open public hearing on this new bill?
I just know what it said in Matt Shapiro's email, you know, but I imagine, sure, of course, it's a hearing. That's what he said.
Okay, so this is the new bill that Bill and I were successful, and other tenant leaders were successful in getting proposed, and this requires landlords to pay attorney's fees for successful tenants if the lease gives the landlord the same right. So we here in New York have this protection. You want to try calling into the show again, Bill? I'm going to hang up on the cell phone, see if we can get you on. Yeah, just keep trying until you get through. Okay. All right, Bill's going to try to call into the show. Apparently, he's getting a busy signal. You know, Jersey City is having, Hoboken is flooded. Jersey City was having problems with the aftermaths of the storm, and so Bill couldn't get here. But next week in Trenton, Matt Shapiro, who's a lobbyist who helped us, and he's a leader with New Jersey Tenants Organization, had sent out an email that said there's going to be an open public hearing in Trenton so that we can help pass this new law that would allow tenants to recover their attorney's fees. So this is the scam, the criminal scheme that they run in Jersey, and they ran it on Bill. Your landlords take you to court with frivolous actions. You have to pay attorney's fees to defend, and you get milked for attorney's fees. Bill has won against his landlord 3 times, and he's now behind in his rent. He's trying to catch up paying his rent because he had to pay his attorney, so it's not fair. The landlords use this to gross inequity in order to milk tenants of attorneys' fees to, as a means of aggression. And this is going to be Bill telling me he can't get through. Hello? Okay. All right, so Bill keeps getting a busy signal, but we'll see you next week. You're going to come in on the show, right?
Of course.
Oh, well, actually, I'm going to see you because we're going to go to Trenton together, and we're going to go to the open public meeting on Brian Stack's new bill. And we know that Governor Christie's going to sign the bill because Newark and Jersey City are like 75% tenants, and this is a good bill for tenants. Bill and I went to the Bar Association and to the local law schools, and they're like, wow, you developed a new source of revenue for attorneys, and they can take tenants' meritorious cases. So that's great. Governor Christie's not going to alienate every attorney in the state of New York, in the state of New Jersey, by saying they can't a tenant cannot recover attorney's fees if they win against their landlords. Bill, how many times did you win against your landlord?
The next time will be the third time. Actually, it's only two.
Oh, you won against twice? Twice or three times?
Twice in the court we were evicted, right?
Oh, you won twice so far?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you couldn't recover your attorney's fees, and one of the things we're going to discuss the next time you're on my show is the dirty trick that the clerks in the courthouse played on you, and how we're trying to resolve that with Judge Hector Velasquez, who happens to be the brother of Ray Velasquez. Yeah, so, and Rupert, the clerk, they played a dirty lawyer trick on Bill as he was trying to recover his attorney's fees, and we're gonna show you how the clerks of the court manipulate the judges and throw out pages from your motions so they can manipulate a judge. So Bill's dealing with the same crooked system that me and Patricia and Pauline Roman were dealing with. That's why we're trying to pass this new law. And actually, Pauline Roman's attorney, Frank Babcock, should be endorsing this because he's handling her case pro bono. And if Pauline was allowed to recover attorney's fees, Frank Babcock could get paid for helping her, and she would not be a charity case, and she does not want to be a charity case. So we're starting to make progress. By the way, I showed on the, can you get to your computer, Bill? Can you catch our live stream on the computer? Because one of the things I want to show you, because you're going to be doing this yourself, is if you go to my Crooked Doctors YouTube site, right here is 10 minutes of a 37-minute video that shows the U.S. Marshals have ample evidence in their hands, and they've had ample evidence in their hands for months to show that the doctors at Rikers Island, the crooked doctors at Rikers Island, falsified medical records, tried to stigmatize me as mentally ill when I'm not, had ample information to know that Judge Patterson fabricated a ruling. I went through all the... Hey, Bill.
I have to move to a different location in the hallway because in the apartment it's giving problems.
So we're
That's where I am now, so I cannot, once I go in there, quick off again, you know.
okay.
Okay, go ahead, continue.
All right, so Bill, when you get off the phone with me, you're going to go to your computer and you're going to go to YouTube, and in the YouTube search bar, you're going to type in Crooked Doctors, and you're going to come to the U.S. Marshals and a federal judge have evidence, and you're going to come to a brief 10-minute video. This is 10 minutes of a 37-minute video that I made, and I put in subtitles so you can follow along, that show that the U.S. Marshals, a law enforcement agency, has ample information to know that that Rikers Island, Dr. Tung, and Dr. Michelle S. Canale at Elmhurst Hospital have falsified medical records. And this video goes hand in glove, if you actually click on the Crooked Doctors channel here, goes hand in glove with another video that I made that shows that, and I'm scrolling through this, that shows that U.S. Marshal, here we go, this is U.S. Marshal Emanuel Mishka-Wartovsky. This is another video that it's an 8-minute video where now Mr. Wartovsky, Mr. Wartovsky is part of Department of Justice. So there is a law enforcement agency involved that knows that 4 federal judges made up a ruling in my case, and they want to set a very dangerous precedent. They want to make sure that students cannot correct their records from Yeshiva University's medical school. They want to set a very dangerous precedent. And the Department of Justice and the U.S. Marshals have ample information to act. So there is a law enforcement agency involved. And when I got the city attorney from the city of New York, Carolyn Crook, to talk to me, she's like, oh, you don't have any claims for denial of equal protection of the law. There has to be a law enforcement agency involved. There is. The U.S. Marshals have been kept fully informed. And the U.S. Marshals were used in a criminal scheme to try to create cover. Because at Rikers Island, they contacted Jersey City, and they got those falsified records from Jersey City, and they used them to make even more falsified records at Rikers Island. And instead of looking back to Jersey City, to the crooked doctors who had falsified records there, and to Judge Falcone, and to the lies that they told, they tried to create another scam, and they used the marshals to try to create cover. And I'm going to go through a couple documents next week where you can see how Rikers Island tried to scam the U.S. Marshals. But right now, the U.S. Marshals have plenty of documentary evidence, and I talked them through this documentary evidence so they know I'm telling the truth, and they've got criminals here. And now I've got the Social Security Administration admitting that they used the falsified records at Jersey City Medical Center to defame me for the last 3 years and to ignore the physical evidence that shows that I was physically assaulted, left with serious bodily injury, and was almost murdered at Jersey City Medical Center. Law enforcement has known about federal student loan fraud at Yeshiva University since 2005. And these are civil rights issues because in 2006, in the Marlene Abramova case, I got the school to admit that if you're a medical student at the Albert Einstein College of Medicine, you can be brought up on student disciplinary charges, and that the school does not permit you to cross-examine witnesses against you. So think about this. You're at the Albert Einstein College of Medicine in the Bronx. You're a medical school student. Your professors bring you up on student disciplinary charges. They claim that you're going to get a hearing, but you don't, and you are not permitted to cross-examine witnesses against you. This is vitally important, life-saving information for every pre-med out there. At the Albert Einstein College of Medicine, you can be brought up on student disciplinary charges, and the school has already admitted in federal court that you are not permitted to cross-examine the witnesses against you. Okay, that's not a hearing. This is a civil rights issue, and this is hugely important consumer information for every pre-med nationwide, because Yeshiva University's medical school recruits from nationally and internationally. That's why, Bill, we're going international with our issues, okay?
Okay.
All right, so I've got Bill on the phone.
Would you post your show on your Crooked Doctors channel or something? Would you be able to do it right away?
Sure. I mean, I'm doing the best I can with